Welcome back to the Metal Lounge. Today I'm joined by Justin, certified OG of the London scene, booker for Face Down and DJ. I'm going to be picking his brain on his highs and lows of his musical journey. Stick around to the end if you want to see us decode Sleep Token's new mysterious website and more metal news. How are you doing?
Vibing.
Vibes. How's your weekend been?
It's been all right. I've been traveling about, going to breweries and a few bars.
You're alcoholic?
I may as
How
well
many
be.
breweries
I'm
have
really
you been
not,
to?
I'm really not though, I swear.
He says drinking beer on a hangover.
Slightly hungover, not really.
I feel you, man. Well, at least we're in the same boat.
Yeah, good.
I had far too many pints last night.
All of the beers.
At Hobgoblin, a classic Brighton.
So it's kind of one of those pubs that you kind of have to go into if you're in
Always
Brighton.
get ID'd going in as well.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
Yeah.
Like, the bouncers will not let you in unless you have that bit of cardboard.
Yeah,
Cardboard?
It's ridiculous. It's not even about the age. It's literally just like you need identification to get into this place.
Yeah,
they're not going to let you in otherwise. So.
Did you see Jimmy's band?
It's a Trash, who are
Trash?
like one of my favorite punk rock bands, by the way, in the UK.
Awesome. But, shout out Trash.
Yeah, they're awesome. But yeah, they were really good. It was someone's birthday, so it was like a nice birthday celebration.
Oh, kind of like always brings up the vibes.
And the gig was like a venue, but like it was open to everyone. So like a free gig, this means the whole place is going to be packed. So
hell yeah.
It was a decent one.
Did you put on that?
No, I didn't actually. It was at a place called the World's End, and they're being threatened by the council because someone's moved in and made complaints about the actual venue. So like you don't move into a place that has a venue on the same street and then complain about it.
I hate
what's
that.
The point?
It's just like, just move.
Don't,
just let
why
everyone,
did you,
you're
why did
ruining
you
so many
there?
people's happiness. Like hundreds of people having fun.
Yeah,
and just for one fucking nosy neighbour.
I feel like they're having that issue, but that's like so many venues in London.
Is it the same as the Camden World's End? Is it like a chain?
No.
I
feel like it's just a name. It's
oh,
like
fair. They're just like, we want some
the
of
elephant's
that credibility
or whatever. Yeah.
And where was that? Sorry, it was in.
That's in Finsbury Park. So like, that was the first time I've been to that venue actually.
Oh really?
But like, it was a decent gig. Big up Ash because it was his birthday as well.
Oh, nice. Happy belated birthday.
Yeah.
You do put on gigs yourself. I wanted to ask you a few questions about Face Down involvement. So how did you get into booking for Face Down? Like, talk me through it from the beginning. Like, how did you get into it?
All beginnings are like, you're just mates and you're hanging out and you're like, oh yeah, what can we do together to either make money or just like just create an opportunity where at the time there wasn't many heavy like alternative rock nights still existing because they'd all closed down. It was like pretty indie led. I want to say like 2009. We had gone to Slam Dunk Festival and then they did the after party there. And this was back in the day when it was just Leeds, because Leeds was the main one.
Oh, was it? I didn't realise.
Yeah, I know. It's
Is that a
mad.
university as well?
That was at the university, at Leeds University. So we had gone there and it was like a big after party and then all of these bands were like there. It was like Newfound Glory were there. And then this was like when Millionaires were a thing as well. I don't know if you remember Millionaires.
Yeah, that was a blip.
They had done the after party actually. They performed the after party and then all the bands came on stage for that. But we were like in awe of this like kind of club night that had live music and it was just like this massive venue and everyone was having the best time. So we were like, that's so sick.
That was
at
the inspiration.
Time, yeah. So Stu was in my band at the time, The Famous Glass.
Yeah.
Him and his best mate Simon decided, oh yeah, let's just like do one in London. So they got money from their parents and then we started like the first Face Down and that was at the Astoria. Oh, it was like, insane.
What year was that? 2009?
That was like 2009, I think. So we were at the Astoria for a couple of years.
So how was it in the beginning? Was it a success straight away or was it like a slow sort of...
It was relatively one of those because there's always like, there's like 4 staple clubs that you'd go to and then it became one of them. And then we moved to the Scala. And then it was just like club nights like Voodoo Club Night, which was where I started DJing initially, actually. It wasn't actually
I've heard of that.
Face Down. Everyone, if you're mates with the promoter, you always help out. I was like one of those people that was flyering and stuff like that. But then also it was my best mates DJing and stuff like that. And then I was like, I want to start DJing. And I did start DJing for my Larry, who does the Voodoo Nights. And then I just became a DJ at Face Down like a year later or whatever.
And you were the first DJ?
In terms of the metal DJs, we had a few. Didn't stick around. They were like,
yeah,
they didn't do the time. I've stood the time. I am the Rock. Not the Rock Johnson, but yeah. I've been there since the beginning. Had a few people come in and out and stuff like that. And then for the last, I'd say 7 to 8 years, it's just been, it was Houston, who was one of the DJs there. But at the moment, it's just me and Rupert. We're like the main DJs in the metal room. And then you've got Stu, Sam, who is kind of new to it, but he like joined Face Down and then just became a massive part of it. Like the trajectory of it has changed so much because of him. Since COVID, him and Stu have just worked so hard in terms of like getting coverage and getting like the name out there.
Yeah, it's been doing
TikTok. Yeah. Stu's doing the Kerrang like review things. They're really, really cool. And then every time I go onto bloody the Face Down page, it's like a meme or something funny. So like that obviously will get interaction. So like they're really good at like doing that and getting that interaction. And then when it comes to like the actual like live nights, there's so much planning and stuff that goes behind that. And then organization wise, again, it's Stu and Sam, like they bust their ass for that. So it's like,
is it like a full-time job for them?
I feel like if you're a promoter, it's just a full-time job thing anyway, because you're always talking to people, you're always emailing people. Yeah. But like, it's not hard work because that's what you do anyway.
It's just a lot of kind of communication. Endless. Yeah, endless.
There's no like clocking on and clocking off.
It's there's no boundaries. There's
no boundaries at all.
Like you can't just get someone to reply to an email straight away. And
those two are really good in terms of like creating a presence online and then being by people basically on the night. It's just insane. You got balloons. I feel like Stu is like the ultimate party planner. Like, he just loves all the bits and bobs like balloons and just like, I don't know if you've been to Face Down, on stage you'll see like cardboard cutouts and shit like that. He loves all of that shit, so it's quite funny.
I've been to Face Down a couple of times and it's such a laugh. I went when Love performed.
Yeah,
dude,
that was
really cool. Face Down,
I miss us getting those big bands. And Stu knows this anyways, but it'd be lovely to get those big bands. But like you hit, I don't know, with Face Down and the booking, my room's really cool because I have so much freedom, but the main room is locked into like the industry. So like where like they get recommendations, they kind of have to like take them.
What to kind of like to keep
just,
that sort of
keep the relationship between management groups and all that stuff. Like
that's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot that goes into.
Is it almost not even sort of Stu and Sam's cool anymore who plays? They're just like,
no, they do. They still have that final. They still have
the final call,
but it is like, okay, this person really wants us to get their band on, kind of thing.
And how far is it kind of booked in advance? A lot of the time, is it like always?
There's 2 rooms at Face Down. There's a metal room and then there's a main room. I book for the metal room, so I tend to book like 4 to 6 months in advance. They basically have to, it's not even wing it, they kind of have to keep it open. So like when you have bands that are touring or anyone that's like maybe over for a festival season, in case that happens, you kind of have to hold up and hold back, just be like,
seize that opportunity.
this is Slam Dunk, this is the Slam Dunk one before Slam Dunk, maybe we might get a band from Slam Dunk. There's a lot of tie-ins with Slam Dunk and Ben Ray and stuff like that. It's nice to have that relationship with like promoters like him, because like we bounce, all ideas and stuff bounce off each other, and then it's all a big kind of like group of people that everyone knows each other basically. That is the industry though anyway.
That's really interesting. Yeah, in my mind I thought you were going to say, it's planned like all year, but that does make sense, because like the musicians are just people that kind of are quite disorganized a lot of the time, and sometimes think the best things are off the cuff. But yeah, so you spoke about the metal room. I know that's handled by like TraumaPR. Could you tell me a little bit more about TraumaPR and like what the role of that is with Face Down and how that started?
Yeah, so TraumaPR started in 2016, and then it was basically just set up to help bands get further along in their journey basically. With that, I'd offer like, because I didn't really have any money doing it, to be honest, like, so like I just wanted to get people involved that wanted to further their careers. Like I had videographers, photographers and stuff like that who went on to do like massive like big jobs and stuff and end up going on tours and stuff. And so I'd record these bands, like do a little video for them post gig. Then we'd do photos for every show anyway, so that was just like a given. And then I'd interview them like this. It'd be like this kind of setup, and then I just felt like that was a really good like starting point for some people because their first interviews were with us. Like I had an interview with Dream State. It was literally their first interview, and they weren't. That's never going to come out. There won't be, you probably find it online on like Facebook, TraumaPR. But like it is like it's awful because I was like I was learning the media side of things, and then like obviously the if you've never been interviewed, you don't know what you're saying, you don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's quite nerve-wracking, really.
Yeah, exactly, and you can just trip up and then just feel really self-conscious.
Yeah, but, it's all experience though. I think like once you've done it a few times, it comes quite naturally. Really, it's just having a conversation, but sort of like allowing yourself to be in the moment and to think on your feet. And
so like I'd get those bands, those interviews and stuff like that, and then do like single releases as well. So like I did a lot of that, and a lot of people got discovered through doing like our shows too, which is so cool.
Awesome. So where did you put on shows? Like?
So that was from 2016 to just before the pandemic. Then that just locked off everything. It just like ended.
Yeah.
It just stopped.
Well, you had a bit of momentum in it. It's like lockdown.
It was really cool. Like I was like, oh, I'd love to just do this full time. This could be a career choice for me, just to be a promoter, like an independent promoter, because they don't exist anyway in London anymore.
It seems to be like people will do it for a short amount of time and then they'll be like, fuck this, it's not worth it.
Because you don't make any money, man. It's so harsh in that sense. After that, I was in interviews online still, and I was trying to just keep it up, doing interviews with bands. I guess didn't do the promotion side of thing when we came out of it, because it was like what the landscape is so different now. Basically used to just split the door and then just give bands money back for the tickets that they sold. I was like, I can't do that because you have to pay bands now. You can't like just be like, oh yeah, you can get some of what we make, and then you're breaking even, and then you're not even making any money yourself as well. So it was just like, I don't really want to get back into that kind of thing. I've always booked for Face Down, but concentrated more on just like getting solid bands for Face Down in the metal room. It's evolved into that.
Interesting. So it kind of started off as like a thing to help bands and to put on shows, but then COVID kind of stopped the momentum of it, and now it's kind of evolved to booking bands in the metal room. I suppose opportunities to do more stuff in the future. If that opens up.
I'd love to, but I feel like it's like with any independent promoters, like there's no support, man. I see all these videos about like grassroots venues and then just supporting the local scene, going down to local shows, supporting those bands that will be like the next best thing. And it's so true, because that's the reason why I stopped doing what I was doing, because there was no support for it. You'd like promote these shows and promote these, or I was going hardcore into it. I was like promoting these bands like they were my bands, like I was managing them. That's the way I do it. And then the night would come and it'd be like, oh, I've broken even. Oh, amazing. Like there's no like leverage to even put on another show because you've got no money. You're all maxed out.
What do you think the solution is to that? Do you think there is a solution?
Not really, but there are things that help. Like I got free hire with a few of the venues that I used to work with.
That's cool.
And that was really, really cool. That does help. I think there was that thing about the 1%, big arenas giving like £1 towards
I heard something about that. When there's like a big arena show, they're going to dedicate like a certain amount of money to grassroots venues and stuff. Hopefully that does come into fruition. I don't know if that's
that would just help out so much.
But that does need to happen, because like if you help out those grassroots venues, help out those promoters and those bands to shine a light on them, eventually they could be selling out arenas. And
exactly,
if you won't get any more new arena bands if you don't support those grassroots venues and those bands and promoters that are trying to lift up artists. Speaking about bookings, do you have any sort of like any nightmare booking stories? So like in all the times you've been a promoter.
There's been a few. There's been, you'll book a band and then like the night before they pull out and you're like, oh, okay, we need a band to either headline this show, or if it's like Face Down, you need a band. Like I need a band in the metal room. 24 hours to book another band. I've had that situation a few times.
Oh God.
I think it was, as everything unfolds, it's documented as well, so you could probably like check this out. We did a show for them, one of the support bands. I didn't realize they were like 17. Basically the venue that we were playing was an over 18s venue.
Oh God.
But they were opening the show and I just assumed maybe that it would be fine. I feel like they had people there, like parents and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's fine. They're just going to play and then go home. Weren't allowed to play.
Oh,
I was like, oh my
gutting.
God, I've been promoting this show for like a couple of months now. Obviously, if I'd known, I wouldn't have booked them. Yeah, I was gutting, and then it just made the show so weird. They were on stage. They were on stage, and then
No way.
then they were like told, yeah, one of you,
Oh,
like
that's
they got,
crushing.
I know.
Can you
I
imagine
felt so
being in
bad
that
for them,
position?
but I also felt bad for the venue. I felt like you've got no trust in me now. Like it was but then also I thought, yeah, it's gutting for them because they can't play now.
I bet they were crushed about that.
I
Like,
think
would
so.
be,
It was just a bad situation.
devastated.
It's just so hard to navigate that as well. Like
that is a nightmare. Through like promoting and like booking bands and stuff, what shifts have you noticed in the London scene?
again, it just goes down to people going to shows. The scene revolves around the music, obviously, but then also the difference is like everyone would go to a local show. You'd always go to the show, and you just go to like a venue just because.
Yeah, you just
And
go
then-
to your local venue. It's weird how you're saying how the music's gone. And like, do you remember when there used to be so many melodic hardcore bands?
Yeah, of
Now
course.
there's like none of them.
yeah. It's so true. It's such an era. That was such an era, actually.
That was such a weird era.
But yeah, going back to like small venues and then gigs that people don't really go to, and all of the shows that you go to are just arena shows or massive venues. So that in itself it's not amazing for any kind of brewing scene. It will just end up just like skyrocketing down.
With every venue there, that's an opportunity for a band to express themselves and get better and get that experience. If you don't have that funnel of like, okay, we're playing our local venue, and then we're playing the Forum, and then we're playing the
there's no progression there. It's just like one small venue arena. Like the only way we can get past that is if these venues aren't closing down, and that's what's happening basically.
It's a shame, but hopefully some more venues will pop up in their place. Like I do find that like you hear like a story of a venue shutting down or something, and then a lot of times the venue will end up opening back up and stuff. So I believe that we can still keep it alive, but I think it just needs more support from the average person in the scene, I suppose. It comes from all round.
It's also distorted the view of what is normal. Like with so many people, there's like expectations of what a gig should be like. So if they go to a local gig and they're like, oh, this is fucking shit, I'm like, man, this band are awesome. What are you talking about? Is it just the venue that you just dislike? Is it because it's tiny and you paid $5 to get in? Imagine complaining about paying $5 to a gig. I've seen that. People complain about low prices. I'm like,
and then they happily pay like $100.
I know, it's insane to me. So that view and that perception just needs to change. I think that's what that is.
I couldn't agree more. I think that we need to normalize like paying to get into a show and like supporting bands. Like it's fun as well. It's not like a chore. It's like genuinely really satisfying when you see a band play a small venue and then you see them grow. Like there's nothing more
awesome.
like satisfying than seeing that. Like, I remember seeing like Bring Me the Horizon,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
at
Architects,
Concord and
dude.
Architects. Yeah, like
one of those bands.
They were a grassroots band that were playing small venues in Brighton and Sheffield. I think it's good to have a balance. Like there's nothing wrong with liking a successful band and going to see them if they're your favorite band or whatever. But like I feel like it's good to have a balanced diet of like, okay, I'm going to support a few smaller bands, a few middle bands, a few bigger bands. It's boring if you're just supporting the bigger bands because everyone did that. Then there'd be no new bands.
Exactly.
No new progression. So anyway,
yes,
at a club night or Face Down, what is one of the wildest things you've seen happen there?
I always reference this. So basically, a band called Heck played Face Down many years ago, but they were called Baby Godzilla. I don't know if you've seen any of Heck's videos or songs Godzilla, or like So basically, like they're pretty wild. They don't really have songs, but like they're just nuts. So like they just go wild and then just be climbing on shit in the crowd. So like this first gig, they climbed all over the venue. We're on top of the sound booth, which is a cage, and then like you could easily just fall through it. Like they were on top of that. Obviously, you're not really allowed to do that in venues because of safety precautions and regulations or whatever. Yeah, boring. They got banned, but then they had a name change anyway. And then we kind of booked them again.
Was that at Face Down?
Yeah, that was at Face Down. Obviously, to the management, not really to their knowledge. And then they did the same thing again. So terrorized. They were just
that must have been so satisfying. Like you being like, you guys are not ready for what's about to happen.
It was amazing.
Like, was part of you like, I wonder if they'll just play a normal show, or did you know that they were gonna like?
Always, they're like that band. We go to all of their shows as well, so we were super fans. So we were like,
I remember you supported them one time, didn't you? One of your bands, was it Hunter Kill Hunter? Maybe
I can't remember.
I love bands like that, man. That's the spirit of rock and roll, really.
Yeah,
isn't
exactly.
It's
very
like,
rock and roll bands.
I love that. Like you had bands like the Chariot in America and Dillinger.
Completely that.
Do you remember a band called Bastard Ice Cream? They used to go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They turned into the Guts.
Oh, the Guts. Yeah. Of course, I know the Guts.
Yeah, the Guts. Dinosaur Attack. I think.
Okay.
I think that was.
No, I just remember the Guts because I booked the Guts.
Yeah,
that vibe.
I love
It was
like
that vibe.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
that was the funniest moment.
Yeah, that's like a special moment to see when like a band just goes off script and they just destroy everything and just cause chaos. Like it is. I love that. That's so memorable. That's what you want to see. Like maybe not every gig, but like every now and again, like you do want to see that. All right. So as a DJ, what song can you not stand? Gets on your nerves?
I don't necessarily have songs that get on my nerves, but I do get really annoyed when I'm playing a song. Just say it's like Slipknot. Someone comes over, excuse me, like try to get your attention. I'm like, what? I can't actually hear you. I'm trying to cue in the next song. And I'm like, oh yeah, can you play Slipknot? I'm like, my guy. I'm playing Slipknot right now. So that happens like literally every time I'm DJ. That always happens. Are you not listening? You're not an OG fan. This is like you don't really want
that's
this song.
Hilarious. You're playing that new Slipknot.
Yeah. It's mental to me.
Let's talk a little bit about you as a vocalist. You've fronted a few bands in your time. You've had some few shows which I've been to. I've enjoyed. What's the most memorable gig you've had as a vocalist or as a band member?
I guess like I've had them with all of my bands. So more recently, I'd say playing with Cancer Bats was amazing.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
This is nice because like I've known Liam for like so many years to the point where he knew of my first band, which I'm going to talk about.
Oh, awesome.
So like that was a really good gig.
That's a real sort of like
full circle moment.
A full circle moment.
So like my first band that I was successful with, I guess, was called The Famous Class, and we did like some mad shows, and we'd always do crazy shit, and we'd do like I feel like we were the first band to do online stupid stuff that would go like viral within your community.
That's
like,
awesome.
And then we like literally managed to blag a tour in China, unsigned. We were an unsigned band, so we had done everything ourselves.
How?
We were basically a replacement for a band that was supposed to go out there supporting an artist. The artist didn't get a visa, so they dropped off the tour. They decided to continue doing the tour anyway, and then we ended up being that main band that was touring in China. First time I'd been abroad. Insane.
How old were you?
I was probably I guess like 28 or something like that. This was like mad. This is like 2011. I got on a plane obviously to China but then just ended up being there and be like, oh okay, shit, I'm in China.
That was like a dream come true.
Yeah,
that must have been so surreal.
It was so weird and random, but then we just went with the flow of it. We were like, okay, this is what we're supposed to do anyway. When you have dreams of like doing big stuff with bands, you want to be in the space to be able to do the big things. And we were just projected into this mad space where we were doing these gigs.
Wow.
Did this like mad show on this weekend. It was like celebrating anniversary or something in China. Like it was just like in front of this college crowd, and there was like, I want to say like 12,000 people there.
Oh my god. Is that like the biggest gig you played, you reckon?
Yeah, it was like I
unbelievable.
feel like it's the junior orchestra or something, and then we followed them, and then it was just like, okay, we're doing this then. Yeah. But like I've not had like we always talk about it as well. Like this is so many years ago, but like we always talk about like that weekend and that like.
I'm not surprised. Not many people get to say they've played in front of that many people.
I know, and unsigned,
in a foreign country, unsigned. Like that is unprecedented. That is what dreams are made of.
There's stuff online about it. I feel like it's a shame because we didn't really document much, because I feel like it was that period of time where you had a smartphone, but you weren't recording everything. Now it's like everyone's recording stuff. It's fully documented, but this is back when like Facebook was just a thing really, and MySpace had just dated in terms of like documentation. The stuff's out there. Check it out.
Well, that's awesome, man. Like that's so inspiring. Obviously you're already 28, but I bet that sort of lit like another fire in you again to be like, shit, like I've got to chase that high.
Oh, 100%. We're continually chasing that high. Like even with Stu, who's in the My Chemical Romance cover band, it was a band with him. They're doing that cover band, but I feel like they're locked on to the fact that they get these massive crowds all the time. It just feels so good. So like I understand why they do that.
Many people.
So this music they love.
When you go back to China, did you see much of China?
It was such a, yeah, we did. We went to Chongqing, Wuhan, where COVID started.
That's a flex.
Yeah. But this is before the intervention of I was about to go full on. I was about
go for it, man. Yeah.
No. That's been the biggest show that we've done. I really want to play like festivals though. Like festivals is like the main thing I've always wanted to do. It's always just like, for me, it's just a connection with people, connection with what I'm singing to. Like I couldn't just do like music I don't love and it's in front of like massive crowds. That doesn't matter to me at all. But if it is music that you love, must feel so good.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced that yet.
Really? So with the famous class, you didn't quite.
It was just silly songs, really.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't really any connection with it. It's just fun pop punk, really. So it was
Yeah.
never like, oh, I love what I'm saying.
You did that. They were obviously pop punk band. So
That was it, yeah.
And did you sing in that? Like what did
Yeah,
you
I was
do?
like singing and playing bass in that band. Then obviously it was Hunter Kill Hunter, which is the band like when I met you, basically. Then it was like a little bit of a break, which is when I did TraumaPR. So that it makes so much sense. I wasn't in a band and I just started promoting and supporting other bands because I was like, I still need to be involved. I can't drop out of doing music. I need to be involved somehow, and that was what happened.
It's like you don't really have a choice. Like you're so passionate about music and you're so connected to the scene. I don't think you could really leave it if you wanted to.
I could never leave music.
It's literally
basically
in your blood. Like,
yeah. Even when I'm not in a band, I'm trying to be in a band, basically.
I think that's really special, man. I think the connection you have is really visible to see. You can tell you really love it and you care about it.
Yeah.
The scene needs more people like you for sure, man.
It's weird because when you do progress in music, you I feel like you do lose that. As soon as you hit like some sort of really cool industry job, obviously you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to invest in this. But then you end up being compromised and then you lose yourself a little bit, I think.
You've seen other people do that then.
Yeah, I see other people, like I see like
that fire gets put out.
The fire gets put out. Yeah, they're just doing the job. And that's what the music industry is, unfortunately. You can be passionate. Just whatever job you do anyway, like just make sure you really enjoy it. And that's it really. But if you don't enjoy it, I'm in this job I don't really like, it's a bit dead end. That happens in the music industry too.
Yeah, I suppose it isn't that different from other industries in that respect. But it depends what you're doing. I think that if you've got a fire and a passion for something, you need to follow that because that's what life's about. Like you want to be inspired and you want to be around inspiring people to get the best out of yourself. Like I definitely, like I'm always chasing that passion and that drive, that connection. It's the most powerful thing in the world when you're locked in and you're like, I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. I'm loving my art. Whatever it is you want to do, like don't make excuses. I think just fucking do it.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. Lock in.
Yeah. So with you as a musician, obviously you were doing vocals and playing bass. So when you started Hunter Kill Hunter and stuff, what sort of techniques did you bring on? What was the idea of your first band? Like you said you didn't resonate that much with the famous class.
Yeah.
What was your inspiration for starting Hunter Kill Hunt, like as a vocalist? And
like even the famous class, I know I said I didn't really like attach to like words we're saying, but like, I love having fun. So
the
like,
lifestyle of it.
That was what drew me to that band and doing it and continuing doing it. And then with Hunter Kill Hunter, it was more like I really loved like heavier side of music, but didn't even know how to scream, man. Like the screaming kit has only come along recently, I think. But like
it's hard, man. It
really is.
It's a cruel mistress learning to scream.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a long time to get to your level.
Yeah, I've realized that I've got to just try not to emulate anyone. Just do you, like, and then you'll fall in place.
I think like when you're starting out, it can really help to emulate someone.
Of course,
but you have to find the right person to emulate because everyone's voice is different. Like when I first started to scream, I was trying to scream like A Day to Remember and like The Devil Wears Prada. And then I realized that like maybe other people I could emulate better. But once you get that sort of first technique, you always have to forget that like who you're emulating and be like, okay, now where's my voice?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Some people haven't found their voice. The thing generally in metalcore music, there's not really much individuality, and that is why people don't really lock onto it.
I think it's a confidence thing as well. Yeah. Like I know it's so cliche, people just say like sing with confidence, doesn't matter what you're doing, but it is true. You can be a bad singer. Like look at like David Bowie, like he's not the best singer, but he's confident and he like believes in what he's doing, and you take notice of that. You feel that confidence, and that you can be technically the best singer in the world, but if there's no soul or no confidence behind it, it just doesn't connect to people in the same way.
The Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger does not have a voice. But like he's an amazing front person, and again the longevity is just stupid anyway. Yeah, you don't have to be the most talented, but as long as you're confident in what you're doing, you just smash it. That's it really. don't try to be other people, be yourself.
Couldn't agree more. So what was the transition with Hunter Kill Hunter and the heavier side of music? Did you have any references at all? Like what was sort of like inspiring you at that time?
It was a progression, I think. I feel like the Hunter Kill Hunter stuff was me trying to be like, oh, let's get heavier. I feel like that was when Let Live were a big thing.
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say I do hear some of that in your.
It wasn't even an influence for me. It was more the guitar playing and stuff like that. And then because I've always been inspired by like Glassjaw and Every Time I Die, big on those. So like that was like for me massive influence in terms of
quite chaotic.
Vocal, in terms of the vocal. So like that was a nice me attempting to be that for a little while. But then I found my voice. I think everyone would keep saying like you sound like Enter Shikari a little bit, or like even people were saying Block Party. I was like, oh, not this again. I used to get the comparison all the time. I'm like, fuck off.
Oh no.
But like that English tone. So like not Americanized, but like a bit chaotic, and Every Time I Die, Glassjaw. And then I just landed on that, and that's my vocal. Bit of Deftones.
Yeah, love that. Where are my Deftones?
Yeah, let's go.
So what's your approach to when you're writing lyrics for, like when you're writing a song? Talk me through like process. Do you write any music at all? Or
I try to. I'd love to be able to, but like structure wise, I never have like good structures.
It's fucking hard, man.
It is.
It's hard.
Yeah, if someone sends me a song, I'll literally just be like, blah, 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 like just babble over the top.
So you get how it's going to sound first. I like that. And then you sort of fill in the blanks afterwards. And do you sometimes like make like a noise and you're like, that kind of sounds like a...
Yeah, like a word. Like you'd be like,
I don't know, like the sun. And you're like,
the
sun. Like
the sun.
I really like doing that particular technique because it's kind of like you're drawing from like an unknown energy. Yeah. It's like, it's quite spiritual in a way.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
Like whatever just comes to me.
Yeah.
I know Deftones, Chino actually wrote stuff like that as well. That's how I heard about that.
Yeah. It's I feel like it's a cool way because you could have lyrics initially, but I feel like you can't have a whole song with all the lyrics and then force it into like this song on this space. It's just the energy from the song should come to you, and then it's like it's a bouncing thing. You bounce back and forth with like what feels good.
So last question of our Q&A. Yes. If you could front a band for one night, who would you choose?
Oh man, that's hard.
So okay, so here's a caveat. You can have a week to rehearse it as well.
Oh man. Ironically, like I know I say I love heavy bands as well. Paramore are one of my favorite bands. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
That's
so
cool.
Like, that would be interesting.
That would be hard, man.
That too. But like massive inspiration,
you need like 2 weeks, maybe.
Rocking out and singing has always been like a massive thing for me. And then to see that from a female artist as well, like who always female artists inspire me all the time.
You have to pitch down the
pitch everything down like
12 semitones.
And I'll just smash it. But then there's not many bands I'm really obsessed to the point where like I know every single word. But like again, like I do love chaotic bands. Every Time I Die, Deftones, Korn. I'd love to be like, they're like one of my biggest inspirations in terms of heavy, and like that was where the switch happened. Them and Slipknot, like their energy is amazing, and I just love like Hayley as a front woman.
Hayley's a babe.
And then just generally like just women in metal and heavy stuff, like they're just so inspiring. Like I guess
they're on the rise at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
There's quite a few of them.
Yeah, like even like at the moment, who's hot right now? Like Spiritbox, mate. They're smashing it at the minute. Did you go to their show?
I did. Yeah. Oh, mate, it was actually like unbelievable. It was so good. I was actually really hyped to see Periphery as well. Like
they're everyone's like inspiration. Like I just didn't even realize like so many tech metal heads like love that band.
They kind of like reinvented gent as a genre. Well, they invented gent as a genre really because it was almost sugar. But like that modern wave of gent, that all started with Periphery, man.
Yeah,
like
man.
All those bands. Well, I suppose like Tesseract as well.
Tesseract as well.
Respect. But I suppose you had like Volumes, Veil of Maya, like so many gent bands inspired from Periphery. Yeah. So I'd never seen them before. Yeah. So I was so hyped to see them. Yeah. I missed out on seeing Straight from the Path because I was getting pizza.
Oh no, dude! What's it called? Where is it?
Ali
Pali, mate. That's a great. I always say it's a great venue. So bad to get to. It's the worst place to get home from. But
awful.
It's a really cool venue in terms of like the food court and just hanging out with people.
Very aesthetic inside.
Yeah, I think so.
like
very,
bar.
very cool.
It's got good amenities.
Amenities.
Good food, good pizza,
Yeah.
good beer. It was quick service. Yeah, so we got there a bit late, and I had the pizza.
Yeah.
I literally popped my head in just to see Craig and the drums. I was like, yeah, I've seen them, but I've seen them loads of times.
Yeah, and they did this really small show at the Underworld like the day before. Anyway.
I saw that. That was cool.
Preferably, I would have went there anyway, there and not gone to the big show. But obviously, wouldn't want to miss Spiritbox, which they had done some mad backdrop. That's what I saw. I was like, that's sick, and it's about time because I feel like not many bands are doing it's obviously it's well expensive, but it's really cool to see when you have heavy bands got this crazy backdrop and like lights and just everything,
mate. So they came on. So Periphery actually weren't received that well. He even said he was a bit like he was like, how are y'all doing? And they were like, and he was like, oh, okay, about 50% of you are feeling it, or 50% are not.
Oh no!
And I was like, oh, well, you shouldn't have said that. But I think they're used to people seeing them, and they're there to see them, and they're like the main act.
Yeah.
So being the support act and like in a big venue like that, they didn't seem that comfortable, to be fair.
Yeah, and especially when the fan base is generally that's not their fan base.
No, it's not really.
Yeah.
I think like Spiritbox, obviously there's influence, a lot of influence from Periphery, and they obviously tip the hat to them, but you know that it is quite a different vibe. Like Periphery's like guitar nerd, like you know, proper like techie, and Spiritbox has a bit of tech, but it's about those kind of like I thought it was kind of about like mixing the light and the dark and stuff, but oh my god, when Spiritbox came on, they dropped a curtain and they played a brand new song, and it was like one of the heaviest Spiritbox songs I've ever heard, and I was like, I have such respect for Spiritbox because I don't think they had any cleans until like the third or fourth song. It was just like crushingly heavy, like cool. Even me who's like into like deathcore, like I'm into very heavy music, but even I was like, fucking hell, like they're like blowing me away now.
Come out swinging,
feeling my bones. I was like, this is fucking heavy.
Yeah, I love that.
And they're such a big band, but they're also like, it reminds me of like Architects when they started. They had they didn't pull any breaks. They just came out swinging with the screams, and it was alarmingly heavy. It was
alarmingly heavy,
scarily heavy.
Okay, that's it.
I was a bit like, I kind of just want to hear her sing now. Like,
because Courtney does that very well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Oh my god, she is one of the most tightest vocalists I've ever heard.
Yeah.
She was on point.
Yeah,
like pitch perfect. They made Ali Pali sound pretty good, which is hard.
I know.
Like, all
the acoustics
bands,
at Ali Pali are mad.
It's a no-no. So they have my respect for just how crushingly heavy they sound live, and like the way they opened the set, they made such a statement with that new song, and then how heavy they were. I was really impressed, and the pyrotechnics on the stage was mental. They had confetti, they had flames, like the visualizers. They must have spent a lot of money on that shit, man. Like that. They didn't cut any corners.
They pulled all the stops. They were like, let's do
that's
everything.
What I was looking for.
Let's throw everything at it, and it works for them. It's so good. It's nice to see bands coming into themselves and then being able to have the image of what they think they are come to life. Like, it's awesome. So,
I think that they're sort of veterans of the scene now. They're like a couple, aren't they? They used to be in I Wrestled a Bear once, and it's not their first rodeo. They're back on the bear, and they're riding it scarily. Felt like a bear was in that room, man. It was kind of nightmarish. I think it was like the second or third song. They had this visualizer, and it was like this woman. I think it's Celador, and they had this woman with like these white eyes, and they were like flashing. And I was like, I'm actually kind of scared.
That's
like
scary.
It takes a lot to scare me. But it was like it was just so heavy. I could feel it in my bones, and I was like, I could feel other people's kind of fear and like terror as well. Like it was quite like a statement. I think because my expectations were like, they're probably gonna just play a lot of kind of like lighter songs, and like I suppose Holy Roller is their biggest song, which is very heavy. People want to hear those cleans and stuff, but they were not giving them out easily. It was like they only played a few clean songs from what I remember.
Did they play Blessed Be?
They didn't play Blessed Be.
Oh, I love that song. That was the song that got me into them, actually.
Me too, actually.
But then, like, obviously, listen to all the heavier stuff, and you're like, okay, I like this band now. They did a song recently with Paris.
Yes, so it was My House. They did a reimagined version of that with Courtney. I found it nostalgic listening to that because that album that had a hold over everyone in 2014.
Yeah, it was great.
Can you believe that was over 10 years
It's
ago?
insane. That's not like that being like the album of that year.
Yeah,
like 2014, I guess. Something like that.
They won 2014.
Yeah, they really did. Yeah.
And My House is one of the best songs for sure. So yeah, it was cool, but like I didn't feel like it. I feel like they could have utilized Courtney better.
Yeah,
like, it
really
had to wait right to the end of the song to hear it.
give anything like super extra.
It's kind of cool though. I think more bands should do that. I like the idea. Like actually, Spiritbox did that with Holy Roller. They had Rio from Crystal Lake to kind of reimagine that song. That was awesome.
It's so much heavier as well. Even though, like, how is that possible?
I really like that. It's kind of reimagining the song. One of my favorite ones. I don't know if you heard. We Came as Romans and Brand of Sacrifice like did one of their songs together. Like they I think they both did a song each, and like they kind of did it in the style of the other band. I think that's a really good example of how to do it properly. So like the song Dark Bloom by We Came as Romans, that sounds like as if Brand of Sacrifice produced a song.
Sick,
so they
actually.
just run it through their setup. Really heavy. Having that deathcore tinge is like, I don't know, it's really tickled me. I was like, yeah, that's what I want to hear.
I do love that. Like Motionless in White and like Not Loose doing their thing.
Yeah, Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
I love those.
And it's just random, like As It Is did a thing with Dial Tones with Lucas from
Holding Absence. That was cool. Yeah, I do love Holding Absence.
Yeah, so like I love when bands like actually just like go back
when
and forth. When
Alpha Wolf had that collab with Holding Absence as well.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Holding Absence that are putting themselves out there, man. Yeah. They're the town bike.
Well, Lucas he's doing the sickest job, man. Fucking Funeral for a Friend, he revamped that band for me. I'm sorry.
Is he singing for Funeral for a Friend? I didn't know that.
Great. It's like all of the efforts back. It just feels like they're back.
That's awesome.
They were one of my biggest influences back in the day. It's nice that I slowly would go to every last show. Like they were like, oh, it's our last show many times.
I'm pretty sure I went to one of their last shows at the Horn in Brighton.
He's definitely revamped that band.
There's a lot of techniques going around on Spotify and streaming services at the moment where bands will try and game the system. So they'll kind of re-release the song as part of like a mini EP, like a waterfall release. I think there's more creative ways to do that. And I think having collaborations, I know it does take extra work to do that, but I think to give fans more content is always the way to go. Like even if you're just getting another vocalist to sing like the breakdown or the chorus,
that's true.
I think that more bands need to be doing that. Yeah, it's what people want to hear, and you never know. Like that might be the one that like takes the song to another level.
Yeah, definitely.
Let Live, a band we spoke about earlier. One of your favorite bands, or well, one of your favorite bands.
Yeah.
They're not one of your favorite bands.
No, they're not. But as in like I do like think Jason is sick. And I remember back in the day there was this like article of him being the world's greatest frontman or something on Kerrang.
He pretty much is.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh fucking hell, this guy's amazing. Am I allowed to swear? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Fuck. He lived up to it. It's Let Live. Yeah. He's great.
They're doing a run of shows soon. I'm gutted because I have a holiday booked at the exact time.
You're not even going to go to 2,000 Trees?
Apparently not. Is that the same time as
No,
Radar?
it's the same weekend.
Oh, is it? Yeah. No, I can't do it. Yeah, I'm in Morocco.
Fair play, to be fair.
Yeah, so I'm gutted about that. But yeah, it's kind of been teased for a while, hasn't it? Their reunion tour, like farewell tour. It's really cool that they're doing that. I love FIFA, but for some reason they haven't clicked with me as much as
Didn't land.
Let Live.
Yeah,
I think it has landed with some people. I think Let Live really had that star power that Fever kind of doesn't for me.
Yeah, it feels like an individual project almost, even though it isn't, because even the first round of Fever when it was 3 of them, I thought that was really cool. Like, very
I liked
cool.
that. Yeah,
and then now it's like a band, and it's, I don't know, it just feels like it's a front man with a band. Like there's kind
of like festival music. It's like made for live. And it's like, I get that. Like, I do love seeing Jason live. He's amazing frontman, but I also want to be able to appreciate it at home and like on record. Yeah, I think the first 2 albums were good, but everything really after that hasn't landed with me, unfortunately.
Where else are they playing? Is it just like 3 dates?
Yeah, I think they're not doing I think it's Electric Ballroom in London. I reckon that might get bumped up,
Maybe
like if there might be enough time for it to be. Anyway, so did you see that Sleep Token have brought out a new website, You're Dancing Forever?
I got the email. I did a little, because you go on the webpage and you like sign up.
Yeah, it's really interesting for anyone that hasn't seen it. So you go on this website, basically you have all these letters, and I'm too stupid to figure it out, so I just Googled it. But you put like these letters together, and basically then it gets an email pop up. You put your email in, then they send you an email, and it looks like it's a multiple choice. So you click on one or the other one, and then it just takes you to the website. It's a little bit anticlimactic, but there's some theories that suggests that maybe whatever one you click on is like a vote to see what single they drop first.
Yeah.
Which would be a really cool idea, actually.
Because it's like a square. It's just like 2 boxes and you click one or the other. Like one's dark and one's light. Is it?
I love that
one's,
though. Yeah. One's kind of green and one's kind of light.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people think maybe one of them's a heavier song, one of them's a lighter song. But there's loads of cool theories. I do love the effort and attention to detail.
Yeah, they're going full out obscure anonymity thing.
So people have like gone into the code of the website and it had the coordinates. And the coordinates went to this monument in, I think it was near Bath. And the monument has the same letters that you put in. And if you Google the letters, it's actually something to do about the Holy Grail. Which is really cool. So maybe it's kind of like Holy Grail based upon the new album, I imagine. Yeah, they're playing Download, which is headlining Download. That is the biggest. Massive. Of course, they're probably going to be releasing an album, I imagine, around that time, but just to multiply their numbers. So I reckon we're going to get some new music soon. Oh, and also, I think 21st of March was another date that was kind of derived from the source data. And also someone looked into the back end of the website, and it looks like there's like some pre-order and merch stuff, so things are definitely happening.
Leading up to Download, I think like they're going to be doing tons of stuff.
This could be another massive year for Sleep Token.
It's insane.
Well, I suppose it was 2023 that Take Me Back to Eden came out, wasn't it? That was massive.
It's one of those bands, you see the progression. Like I saw them in the smallest venue. I saw them at like Underworld or something like that.
Did you?
Yeah, insane. Then I saw them at Download. They were like Dogtooth stage. It was the smallest stage.
Oh wow.
All of their fans are new fans, I swear.
Yeah.
Like all of the crazy fans are new fans. So like, I feel like they'll just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And Download for them is going to be like the biggest like showcase of Sleep Tokens. I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah, I've never seen them before, so I'm really excited to see them.
It's nice that
you're going to Download, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll see you there, man.
So it's like, it's nice that Andy Coffin has been like, let's take a chance for this band, and obviously they sell the tickets, so bang, and then like this is their opportunity to be like, okay, we were worth that space.
Oh yeah,
on the Saturday at Download.
It's clear to see they are.
Yeah, they are.
There's such a buzz about them, and I think being a UK band as well, like
too.
I think you got to support your UK bands. I know this is like totally different to supporting grassroots bands. Anything, but this does sort of open the door for new bands. I think we're going to be seeing more anonymous bands and stuff. Oh, and before I forget, did you see that a band called President is playing Download? And they've got no content online, no songs, and they're like playing Download, and people think there's something to do with Sleep Token.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, I have no idea about that. For some reason, I just think of the President Butter. President Butter are playing Download.
No, I'm looking forward to Download. And just those smaller stages. Have you heard Gore before, actually?
No, I haven't.
They're really cool. It's a little bit Spiritbox vibes, but like they're in their own lane anyway. Great, check them out. Just those smaller stages at Download, I just love. Like I'm just looking forward to not having bands pull out because of Barclays. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
That sucked so much. I was looking forward
to
Download. Yeah, that was Download last year.
Oh, that's such a shame.
And understandable, like bands have their reasons for like pulling out and stuff. But that was just like, oh mate, my weekend, I literally was looking forward to this stage. I
might get your help actually, because I'm doing some press at Download.
Sick.
So maybe you can put me in touch with some bands potentially, or like if there's any you recommend me going.
Graphic Nature. I'll always shout.
I
my
did,
boys.
Yeah, I know Pete. He did some of my band's videos. So I'll definitely be reaching out to him. I sold him a whammy pedal actually.
Oh, nice.
He came up here and as soon as I sold it, I was like, I kind of regret this now.
Oh no, it's gone to a good place.
Yeah, it's gone to the best possible.
It's going to Download.
It's going to get more use than anything.
Yeah, it's going to Download Festival without you.
Well, I'll be there, just not on the stage. Yeah. I'll definitely check out Graphic Nature.
Download is going to be sick, man. But then just festival season in general, like Slam Dunk Festival, going to be sick. Day to Remember are playing. They've got a new album, man.
I love Slam Dunk. It's like the kickoff to festival season.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's the beginning.
I forgot they were playing Slam Dunk. Yeah, that's cool.
Sunshine Band for Sunshine Festival.
They were one of the first summery pop punk bands I ever got into. Like, I used to listen to them and try and like sing a lot of their songs. Like, they're a proper nostalgic band for me. But yeah, have you heard their new stuff?
I really like it. There was their song Feedback didn't get the greatest feedback.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah, I like that they released 2 more singles off of this album. They put them out. You're like, okay, A Day to Remember are back. It is like the formula. So like, if you're a critic of A Day to Remember, I'm guessing this probably isn't going to be for you. But I think that, this is like them kind of doing what they're good at.
I thought it was cool that they actually released the album on vinyl and CD.
And CD,
before.
yeah, exactly.
Like, I thought that was quite a nice touch, actually, because they are, you know, a proper legacy band. To stick to that legacy media and to like give fans a chance to hear it early and do that early, I thought was quite interesting, actually.
Very cool, man.
Terrible name for an album, though. Big Old Album Volume 1. It's like, what's the
Big Ol'
worst
Album.
possible name we can think of for an
Big
album?
old fucking...
It's terrible. It's
Album.
worse than old record. Like.
Yeah. But I do love the physical aspect of like, it goes back to this like Spotify and then like there not being like money in music. Doing this, you can actually support your artist by buying their stuff. Basically.
Yeah, a good way of doing things. Your true fans will buy your stuff. If they can hear the album early, they're going to buy it. Make money from the music as well sometimes. But yeah, I appreciate not every band can afford to do that. But yeah, I heard some of the songs. I really like the first song. I like that aggressive song. It wasn't anything crazy, but I just like... It kind of reminded me of when Paranoia came out. It has a similar kind of vibe to Paranoia.
Yeah, that was a great
And I was like,
song
this album's going to be great.
Yeah.
And then it was pretty mid.
Oh, no.
I didn't like Bad Vibrations, really.
Yeah, it was... Yeah.
Looking back, it's not too bad, but yeah. And I think coming after Common Courtesy, anything was going to be pretty bad.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
probably one of their best albums. I actually didn't hear the songs they put out before. I glossed over Feedback, and I didn't hear Miracle. But Miracle, I actually really like that song.
Okay.
It's quite generic, but I just think it's a really well written chorus and really cool song. So that's probably my favourite so far.
I was saying they kind of like they're a bit too on the nose with some of their songs, but the LeBron song I kind of really like. I like the lyrics, I like the sentiment because it is just like a middle finger to any kind of critic of like their music. They've been in the game for so long, and you kind of have to respect that. And then this song is basically just saying that, what more do you want from us?
I think what I like about that is that they're acknowledging the public opinion of them. Yeah. It's like they're not just like completely blind to it. It's kind of nice that they're engaging with the critics and listeners, even if they're putting a middle finger up at them. It's still, they're still engaging. So I think that's kind of cool. It's a little bit cringy, like the lyrics, but I think one thing about A Day to Remember Now is it's not really for me. Like I'm not the target demographic, and I appreciate that. But like if I was 10, 15 years younger, first getting into A Day to Remember, I'd love it. I'd lap it up. Yeah. So fair enough to them. That they are one of those bands that's a bit of a gateway band, and I accept that. They're not
100%.
Why would they choose to be anything else? That's the sweet spot you kind of want to live in. One thing I didn't like actually, to be one of those critics, is I don't think they needed to do the whole kind of like octave pitch down guitar stuff. Like it's very kind of like modern like Architect octave chord like low guitar sound. It's like I think that it would sound better and more true to themselves if they're just going to be old school and do kind of more chuggy. They don't need that whole kind of like maybe do it for one song, but like quite a few of them had that. As a guitarist, I just think it's a bit lazy. It's like, it's a fat tone, it's cool, but it kind of loses it. It's already lost its novelty. Falling in Reverse do it all the time. I think they do it actually better. But when you're relying on that to be the breakdown for every song, it's a little bit tired. I hope there's a little bit less of that on the full. I don't mind it too much, but I think it's just the way they're heavy is kind of like they're trying to be modern in the wrong way. It would actually come across better if they like went into more nostalgia marketing and being like, this is still heavy the way we used to make breakdowns, not taking this new like fat tone and being like, oh yeah, now we use an octave pedal, which it just seems lazy to me. But that's me being. But
then I feel like with some bands they're just trying to connect with where their fans are now, and like some people don't want to like look back and then not drag but like bring back that sound because they're probably themselves in new places now. So like it is like new places, new journeys, new beginnings for them. So they're probably thinking, oh, let's release this album. We like this sound. Let's just put it out because we really like what we're recording. So like I feel like that happens with a lot of bands. They just put out what they like. But like you said, they're listening. They are listening to like what the critics are saying.
I like that they're listening, and I like that they're engaging because it just makes for more dynamic conversations and more feedbacks in a way. Like, I think that about sums it up really for today. Thanks so much for being my guest. I think you're the first person I've actually interviewed.
Really? Okay.
Like I normally just more chill, but it's been really nice actually getting to know more about your past and like Face Down and the Famous Class. So thanks so much for coming on. Right. Hopefully we'll see you again sometime
at Download. No.
Download for sure.
Passing through.
That'll be awesome. Right. Thanks for checking out today's episode. If you like this, give it a like. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.